Welcome to Bama Bug Fest on the Web, a virtual event dedicated to the fascinating world of insects. Bama Bug Fest on the Web is a collaborative event brought to you by UA Museums, the Mildred Westervelt Warner Transportation Museum, the Alabama Museum of Natural History, the Department of Research and Collections at the University of Alabama, UA's Rodgers Library, and the Tuscaloosa Public Library. We are offering 9 total days of bug-themed content starting July 7th and ending on July 25th. For a full schedule of events, you can visit the event website at bamabugfest.org. And today, we're going to sort of introduce everybody to what we're doing with Bama Bug Fest on the web. So how should we get started with that today?
Hey, well, I'll introduce myself. I'm Dr. John Friel. I'm the director of the Alabama Museum of Natural History. And our other speaker today will be Allie Sorley, the museum's education outreach coordinator. So we want to do this is kind of unusual times. Normally, we were planning a single day public event, but we've had to adjust things a little bit. So what you're seeing today is kind of our virtual Bama Bug Fest, which we're really excited about because it's actually given us some great ideas for virtual content. So today we just want to give you a basic introduction to why we should have a bug themed festival, the kind of activities we have planned, various contests, artwork, all kinds of things you and your family can participate in. So without further ado, we'll begin that. So Rebecca, can you go ahead and share my screen?
Yeah, you are good to go.
Yep. Let me see if that's come up yet. All right. Can't tell. Is it sharing yet, Rebecca?
Yes, sir. It is ready to go.
Give it a moment here.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, we can see it on our end, so just let us know when you're ready to go.
I don't see it.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh no. Hang on 1 second.
We lost John. He'll be back. But Allie, I guess there he is.
I'm back.
There we go.
It's live.
There it is.
All right. So if you can share your screen again.
Yep. There it goes.
There we go.
All right. So that's
all right. Do you see it now?
I'm assuming I can. Here, let me just switch around, but I'll assume if it doesn't go off again, just let me know. I'm looking at as a PowerPoint presentation on my office computer.
Yeah, we can see it. You're good to go.
Great. Okay, well, everybody, welcome to our little presentation, the Bama Bug Fest. Here is our cool logo. This is actually the logo we came up with last year, featuring our charismatic elephant stag beetle. But this year, we've kind of embellished it a little bit with spider webs because we're doing this all virtual this year instead of having our normal public event that we'd be having right on Jack Warner Parkway down at the Transportation Museum and Public Library. And the first thing I wanted to point out is that people say a bug festival. That's really weird. I never heard one of those. There are actually a number of bug festivals. We are actually probably one of the most recent additions. A lot of them could go back. There's been a bug bowl going on at Purdue University for over 30 years, which is kind of the original bug-themed event. And I just pulled off a few logos I found online. So this is something that occurs all over, often associated with natural history museums, sometimes with universities, entomology departments. So it's a thing, and Alabama didn't have one. So this is an event that we decided there was a need for in the state of Alabama. Thus, we created Bama Bug Fest. And a little background on the history of the Bama Bug Fest. I've been at the University of Alabama a little over 5 years now, and soon after I got here, I got really interested in local insects, particularly moths, and I initially started something we called Moth Fest, which was tied into an annual event that happens in July every year called National Moth Week, where we encourage people to go out and observe moths, whether it's in their backyard or a local park. So we started as a little festival. The first year we had it was 2016 at Moundville Archaeological Park, and it was just basically the natural history staff running it. And I think the first year we had about 75 people that came out. It was a nighttime event with lights set up to attract insects. We did that again in 2017, doubled the number of participants. And then in 2018, we decided, well, let's see if we move it to Tuscaloosa, whether we might get some more people. So that's the first year we worked with our partners at the Transportation Museum, which is one of the public museums run by the University of Alabama Museums. And that was a big success. And we had, I think, a little over 350 people showed up. And then in 2019, we had a really kind of transformation. We decided, this was so popular in Tuscaloosa, I bet if we expanded the content and made it more inclusive, not only for moths, but included all bugs and arthropods, let's see what we could do with it. So thus, Bama Bug Fest was launched, and that was the first year we worked with the Tuscaloosa Public Library, which is adjacent to the Transportation Museum right along the Riverwalk area in Tuscaloosa. And then here we are in 2020. This year we've had to adjust, obviously, because of the COVID pandemic, and we're doing an online virtual festival. And it's given us an opportunity to kind of be really creative, actually invite people that we couldn't necessarily have participate in Tuscaloosa. And we've expanded our partners. This year we're actually working with the University of Alabama libraries, some additional departments at the University of Alabama, like the UA Museum's Research and Collections. So it really is a team effort. And Ali will probably plug it a little bit, some of our team members and the content they've been generating. Last year we had a great event. Some of you hopefully got to see some of the artwork. Here's a great, I love this collage. This was actually a three-dimensional piece made of actual mounted insect specimens and arthropod specimens that John and Kendra Abbott put together, and we had on display at the Warner Transportation Museum last year. So we've always had kind of an art part of our event, and we'll continue that virtually this year. We also had all kinds of really neat hands-on activities, which we unfortunately can't do this year, but hopefully in the future, during safer times, we can do this again. Here's some pictures from the Tuscaloosa News of last year's event. We had all kinds of live insects. In the background there, you can see some of the Abbott's photography. They're also incredible photographers. So we had artwork on the walls, those live pinned exhibit displays, as well as live examples of insects and arthropods. We had all kinds of cool activities. Two of our most popular ones were the cricket spitting contest. This is something that actually started at the Purdue Bug Bowl, where we encourage people to see who can spit a dead cricket the farthest. So these are live crickets that have been humanely euthanized by freezing them. They're thawed out, and last year we had this event, and we gave out prizes for different age groups, whoever could spit that dead cricket the farthest. And then the other popular event we had was our cockroach tractor pull, where we had hissing cockroaches pulling miniature John Deere tractors on a little raceway. And again, it was a really popular attraction that we had hundreds of people cheering for their favorite cockroach tractor. And then the last thing I want to touch on is kind of why should we have a Bama Bug Fest? And this is really kind of what sparked our interest in doing this. The first is we simply want to celebrate the biodiversity, both globally and locally, of bugs, or in the broader sense, arthropods. I'll be talking later today, in fact, actually what bugs are, so you have a better idea of what they are if you don't already. I have a really passion, and Natural History Museum staff does, for generating public interest and learning more about the nature around us. We live in an incredibly biodiverse state, and this is just a great opportunity to focus on, because there are literally bugs everywhere. Everyone has them in their homes, even if you have taken pest control measures. They're definitely in our backyards. So this is an opportunity to learn some more about them, because they're not all pests. We also want to counteract the bad reputation most bugs have in our culture. Typically, when you read something in the news about bugs, it's something bad, either a new disease, something that bugs that are pests of our food or crops. But that's only a really small percentage of bugs. So we want to take this opportunity to remind people that most bugs are actually incredibly helpful. And we'll be repeating that theme throughout our events. We also want to promote the important services that bugs provide us. Bugs pollinate most of our crops. Many people eat bugs, and actually, one of you have probably eaten bugs. If you've ever eaten a shrimp, a crab, a crayfish, you've eaten, in fact, bugs. And we'll talk a little bit more about that through some of our programming. We also want to promote the many ways in bugs are used by humans. We have a presentation later on in our event about silk. Silk comes from insects. A lot of dyes, natural dyes, come from insects, so you'll be learning about that as well. And also, bugs are just incredibly beautiful. I already showed you a few images of some bug imagery. You'll see definitely more throughout the event. And finally, I really love the intersection of bugs and art, particularly in our culture. So we'll be touching a lot on, and hopefully we'll nurture your appreciation and of the inspiration that bugs play in both art and popular culture. And the biggest reason is really that bugs are everywhere. Bugs are by far the most speciose group of animals on our planet. Over 80% of all described animal species are arthropods, or what we call colloquially are bugs. So everything on this little slide, from the diptera, the purple slice there, going clockwise all the way around to other arthropods, those are what we're going to consider bugs. And you can see what a big slice of the pie of animals we are, animals they are. Vertebrate animals like ourselves are just in that little red slice next to them called chordates. So it really is an amazingly diverse group. And we're going to just basically, you'll just get exposed to the tip of the iceberg of this diversity, but it's something we really want to celebrate in our festival. Culture-wise, we have so many insects and bugs that, whether it's literature, I just pulled out some examples that you probably might be familiar with, insect theme or bug theme literature, comics, television, movies, cartoons, even video games. So I know many people, a really popular game is Animal Crossing, and one of the things that people love to collect in Animal Crossing are bugs, and they're new bugs that are introduced every week, and a lot of those are actual bugs, and in many cases, we actually have counterparts of those bug groups that occur here in Alabama that you'll learn a little bit through our event. So I'll turn it over to Allie, who's going to talk a little bit about the content we're going to do for the Bug Fest. So Allie, want to say something about some of these items I've got listed here?
Yeah, so Bama Bug Fest this year being an all virtual one, again, we were given the chance to kind of explore our creativity and think of lots of different content. So we needed a lot of days to fill all this content, or to have all that content be available online. So this year, Bama Bug Fest is a 3-week long event starting today and ending on July 25th. We will be posting 3 times a week, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And each of those days we'll be posting 4 times a day at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m. And all of these times are Central Standard Time. So if you're visiting us from somewhere else in the country, make sure to know that we are on Central Time. There is something for everyone. We really wanted to make sure that everyone, all age groups, would have content that was interesting to them and something that they would enjoy. So there's stuff for kids all the way up to adults, and just every day. And usually the 10 a.m. ones are usually for the younger kids, and the 2 and 4 p.m. are usually for the older ones, but everyone can watch all of them and I think really get some enjoyment out of all the segments. Each day at 7 p.m., we are going to end with a daily wrap-up. And the daily wrap-up is a way for the experts from the day to come back to our Bama Bug Fest event and then answer any questions that have come up throughout the day. So if you have questions on anything that you're seeing, feel free to comment in the comment section of wherever you're watching them, and we can pull those questions and ask the experts at the end of the day. We can also do them live. So if you watch the daily wrap up at the end of our posting day and you have questions about some of the things that some of the content that was shown that day, you can ask those questions live and we can pull and pose them to the experts to get an answer in real time. So we are also, not only do we have all this really wonderful content that's going to be happening throughout the month, but we also have 3 other elements to the event that are happening throughout the month. So one of them is our resource guide. You can find it online at the Bama Bug Fest website. But the resource guide is an excellent way to delve a little bit deeper into these topics. If you are really interested in one of the segments that we have, one of the videos that are coming up, you can visit this resource guide and get a little bit more information on that topic. If you're just interested in bugs in general and want to learn more beyond what we have out as part of the event, you can visit this resource guide and have access to different books that can be read, different podcasts, different videos, articles, just a ton of different things. So this resource guide is an excellent place for you to visit, as well as visiting all the content that's coming out for Bama Bug Fest, and it'll be available throughout the event week by week. So you'll be able to see it. It's kind of organized into weeks for the event. Now, the other thing that we have going on that's really exciting is a virtual exhibit. So as John mentioned from last year, we had this wonderful artwork that was on the walls at the Transportation Museum for the event. And this year we had planned on having another artwork, another exhibit out at the Transportation Museum as well. But because we're virtual, we were able to take that exhibit and go online. So the exhibit is about insects. It's about details of details unseen, the hidden secrets of bugs, and it is an exhibit that UA students put together in a class that they were having with Kendra Abbott, and it's a lot of close-up pictures of insects and just like how that photography setup works. It's a beautiful exhibit. If you have a chance to check this out, this is also available on the Bama Bug Fest website. And you can see all these great images, learn about the students that were a part of the exhibit and the class. And then also at the very end, there's a little video of some behind the scenes footage, which is really interesting, that just kind of gives you a perspective on how these images were taken. So that's our second thing. And then our third thing is an art contest. So we are really excited about this one. We have a Bama Bug Fest on the web art contest. You can so the contest is open K through adults. We have 4 age groups. We have K through 3rd, 4th through 8th, 9th through 12th grade, and then those who were out of high school, no matter how long that's been. And so we are encouraging people to create art that is bug themed. So just go nuts. And, we've got lots of really great content coming up. If you feel inspired by any of the things the content that we've got, go ahead and put your creative foot forward, and you can use any medium that you like to create these insect-themed art pieces. Now, we will be choosing. Well, let me get it back. So you go ahead and submit your art. The artwork submission starts today and ends on the 17th. And then the last week of Bama Bug Fest, the week of the 20th to the 25th, we will be posting some of the images that have been chosen by the events committee, the Bama Bug Fest event committee, to the web for a public vote. And the one with the most likes on the social media pages that we put them on will win. And we will have one winner per age category. So all of these submissions that we have that come through this form, which you can find on the Bama Bug Fest website, all of those will be considered by the Bama Bug Fest event committee, and then based on the rules that we have outlined on the competition, which you will see on the form, we will decide and whittle down to 5 for each age group, and then post them online for a public vote, which is really exciting. So we're really hoping that you get inspired by some of this content that's coming up, and encourage you to submit and join the art contest. Now, art contest winners will be put into a print publication, the Museum's Chronicle, which is a quarterly print publication from the UA Museums. And then also, we'll have be recognized online on our social media sites and websites as winners for the contest. So we hope that you enjoy it and that you get a chance to submit. We're looking forward to it. 1 submission per person, but we're looking forward to seeing all of your art and getting to know all of your great talent.
Yeah, I'm just holding up a picture of our most recent with featuring someone. This is perfect for Bama Bug Fest because on the cover is Dr. Ed Wilson, who is a very famous entomologist. He's a world authority on ants, who happens to be from Alabama and is a UA alum, and is someone who is near and dear to our hearts. And I would love to have him involved maybe at a future event. But there's so many. Again, people think about UA, they think about football, but this is one of our legends, an entomologist who came through the University of Alabama, and we have specimens he collected in our museum collection here at UA. All right. Anything else, Sally, before we move on?
I think that might be it. There's a lot happening. There's a lot to do over the month of July. Lots of insects to be had.
Okay. Rebecca, if you can put me back on my screen presentation. One of the nice things, again, that the virtual Bug Fest, or at least transforming to a virtual festival, has its challenges, but ultimately it's given us some opportunities. And one of those has been the opportunity. We've always relied heavily on local staff, particularly those at UA museums and the libraries, both the university libraries and Tuscaloosa libraries. But this year, we've really reached out to a broader community. Some of our staff members are really into comic books, and they've reached out to friends of theirs that they knew that worked in some capacity. So we've got Justin Leake, an actor who plays Helgermine on Supergirl. We've got Andrea Towers, a Black Widow cosplayer. We've got a cartoon artist, Sarah Louver. We've got an arachnologist, a spider expert, Dr. Sebastian Echeverri, and another cosplayer, Spider-Man, as long as our local school roots group. So these are people that, at least several of them, we probably couldn't get here, but because we're virtual, we've actually worked with them, and they've been really excited about joining us. So this was something that I think I'm really happy about, because it was all an idea and it's actually all come to fruition. So hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we did putting the content together. Is there anything else you wanted to say about any of the guests, Allie or Rebecca?
I'll just chime in. So Sarah Louver is a comic.
And then finally, I'll wait till this comes up. In addition, I'm going to have in addition to our official art contest, I'm also going to actually. I can't hear you, Rebecca. Whoops, you came up and you popped back out, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's.
You can pop back in at the end if you want to say something. But anyway, in addition to the official contest that Allie mentioned, I want to take an opportunity to kind of use social media. I mean, again, we're on the web. It only makes sense that we really utilize social media. People use social media for so many reasons. I am always looking for insect-themed stuff on social media, so I really want to encourage anyone that views our content to share their love of bugs by using the hashtag Bama Bug Fest. And if you create original artwork, your favorite memes, favorite bug jokes, maybe some photos of bugs you've taken in the coming weeks, share that on whatever platform you like and use the hashtag Bama Bug Fest between July 7th and the 25th. When those are the dates of our event. Weekly, I'm going to go through and I'm going to choose my favorites and reward you with some top picks, and you can win some sweet stickers. I've actually hold up my little water bottle here in a second, so you can see what that looks like. And I have a limited number of 2 stickers. We have the original Bama Bug Fest sticker designed by the artist Thomas Shahan. It features a local beetle, the male of the stag beetle, giant stag beetle. And then we have a limited number of these jumping spider Black Lives Matter sticker designed by Dr. Sebastian Echeverri, who is going to be one of our speakers, our guest speakers for one of our live streams. And he created this great sticker. He studies communication in jumping stickers. So I've got a limited number of both of these. And if you're interested in the chance to win some of these for free, just use that Bama Bug Fest hashtag on your social media, and I may actually share some of those as well throughout our event. And again, it's just a way for the community to connect through their favorite social media channels. So I think that's all I had to say, Allie. I don't know if you've got anything else. If not, we'll open it up. Oh, actually, whoops, I just forgot. I might as well let Allie talk a little bit about our schedule for this week. So the remaining schedule for today, on Thursday, and on Saturday. So go ahead, Allie.
Perfect. I would like to shout out those insect memes that are a part of your presentation, John. You curated them well.
I'm guilty of this. I really love this kind of stuff. Hint, hint, people that post things like this on social media, there's a good chance they're going to get some stickers.
It is a celebrated art form for sure. So Bama Bug Fest, this is week 1. Today's the first day. We're really, really excited. So week 1, again, like the other weeks, we'll be posting today, Tuesday, on Thursday, and then on Saturday as well. 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m. Today, we have our introduction, which you're at right now. So hello, welcome. At 2 p.m., we have our very first story time with TPL, the Tuscaloosa Public Library. They'll be reading a book called Some Bugs by author Angela Ditzelleri. And then there is a Build a Bug workshop after, which I'm really excited for all of you to see. The Tuscaloosa Public Library put together this really wonderful Build a Bug workshop that you'll meet her, Sadie. She actually hand drew the images that are being used for it. So it's really cool.
Hey, Allie, just to interrupt you for a second. I encourage people to go to our bamabugs.org website and download the PDF ahead of time. So if you want to follow along in the activity, you can download and print out the bug parts and cut those out so you have them handy. If not, you can always download them later and watch everything will be that. Even a live stream will be recorded so you can watch it at any time, even after the live stream posts.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And at 4 o'clock, you'll see Dr. Friel again for What is a Bug, where he goes into all things insects and just kind of or gives a nice base understanding of what an insect and what a bug is. And then at 7 is our very first daily wrap up, where you'll see myself, you'll see John, and you'll see Sadie out there again and talking about, the content that had been posted the day and any questions that might have popped up for that day. And any questions that pop up during the live stream. So that's happening today. The next day is Thursday. On Thursday, we have our first, our first not in Alabama, I guess, guest speaker. We have a drawing lesson from DC Comics artist Sarah Louver, learn how to draw Spider-Man, which is really exciting. That's at 10 a.m. At 2, we have the first of 3, which we're really excited about these 2 live streams called A Comic Book Expert, a Scientist, and Spider-Man walked into a live stream. We'll be talking to Spider-Man one day and then 2 others that you can see on the schedule on other days. But we'll have comic book experts, we'll have an arachnologist, and we'll have Spider-Man coming in to talk about Spider-Man and how Spider-Man relates to real world, real world examples of spiders, and talk about the comic book world of Spider-Man. And it's just going to be a really great conversation. So that's at 2. And then at 4, we have 8-legged facts about spiders with Dr. Friel and Spiderly Speaking with Dr. Ruth, which is a really exciting one. Dr. Ruth comes to talk a little bit about how spiders make other spiders, which is really neat. And then we will also have at 7 another daily wrap up where the experts come back again and answer the questions from the day. Now our Saturday one for this week, we will have at 10 a.m. we'll have a terrarium building lesson with Pam Sloan from Discovering Alabama. She'll teach you how to build a bug jar and talk about what a terrarium is. And then we'll have a virtual hike that you can come along with me actually. Along a local area, a local hiking path that you can see, and I will be utilizing the same bug jar that we created with Miss Pam. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a fun one to join in. At 2, we'll be working with entomologist Dr. Megan Pimsler for There's a Bug Under a Log on the Trail in the Woods. And we'll talk about if you've ever been on a hike before and flipped a dead, log that's starting to decay, just looking at everything that's underneath there and talking about what that little ecosystem is like. And then at 4, it'll be You Light Up My Life, the Flashy Fireflies one, a video dedicated to just fireflies, which is exciting because they are definitely a part of our summer world. And then at 7, another daily wrap up where we'll have experts come back. If the experts aren't able to come back for our 7 o'clock one and we have some questions that are for them, we make sure that we get the questions to them and have an answer to you as soon as we can. So, I think it'll be a fun bug-filled week. Don't you think, John?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. Like I said, we had so many ideas and, we couldn't do everything this year that we wanted, but we still have amazing content. I think we've actually created things that even when in the future, when we go back to having a physical festival, we might still continue to do some of this online content. I think this has been so exciting, and I really like how some of the programming has turned out.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
I'm going to leave what remaining time we have for questions. So looking through the comments, if Rebecca wants to chime in with any particular questions, like I said, there'll be multiple times. During most of the live streams, we'll have opportunities where the public can ask questions to the presenter. There's a question and answer at 7 p.m. every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And you can always email us as well. My email's up there. You can email me and I will be helpful. Sometimes I won't know the answer, but I can usually point you in the right direction to where you can find it. There are so many resources online. We do have some real entomologists that work here at UA that can answer your question as well. So Allie, do you see any questions, or Rebecca?
Yeah, I haven't seen any questions yet on the comments. If you are watching today and don't have any questions just yet, but have questions later, feel free to continue to add to this comments or continue to add comments to this video if you'd like. We don't have any at the moment, John, but I do think that there's a chance that Rebecca, did you want to say something about some of the guests that we have that are coming on?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind people that when Sarah Louver teaches everybody how to draw Spider-Man and Bumblebee, they can share their artwork with us that way. If you want to tweet or share it on Facebook with the hashtag Bama Bug Fest, we'll get to see your work after you get tutored by Sarah, who's such a great teacher. I am a terrible artist; I cannot draw anything, but Sarah did guide me through how to draw Spider-Man, and it looked like Spider-Man. So it's a really fun lesson, and she'll be doing Spider-Man as well as Bumblebee. So if you have a preference, Marvel, DC, we're doing both. So no worries about that. But yeah, so if you wanted to share any of the artwork that you draw after you learn how to draw with Sarah, that would be great. And yeah, I'm really excited about all of our guests. Justice League, I don't think we mentioned he played Helgramite on the CW Supergirl, so he was kind of a bad guy. He was a villain. But I think that'll be really cool to hear his experience about what he did to maybe prepare for that, or what he knows about Helgramites and what he knows about those bugs. Maybe we can help him prepare. He's kind of been a recurring guest on the show, so maybe he can take that with him next time he goes to cause some trouble on Supergirl. So that was all kind of I wanted to mention for those aspects.
That's great. Thank you. And I think one thing that we've sort of talked about but haven't maybe explicitly said, but some of the content that we have is going to be live, like what we're doing right now, and then some of them will be videos that have been content that's been created by the partner organizations that we mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, that will be posted at those times that we mentioned. But all of them, we are always monitoring the comments and always trying to keep up to date with all the questions or comments that you have. So whether they're live or not, please feel free to interact with them and comment with them, and we should be good to go. Oh, this one. Okay, so any recommendations as far as supplies for the terrarium building workshop? So we will have a supply list that's for that coming out pretty soon, that you can, have. It'll be on the Bama Bug website. So go ahead and keep an eye on that for in the next couple of days, and we'll have that terrarium building lesson up. And again, remember, if you're not able to make it for that terrarium building lesson at 10 a.m. on Saturday, and would like to see it another time, all of these videos are going to be archived so that you can access them at any time. They'll be archived on all of these social media pages, and on the YouTube channels. Wherever you are watching this video right now, there will be an archive of the video that you're watching, and all of the other ones for Bama Bug Fest. So we are all over social media and YouTube, both with UA museums and all of those social media pages that we mentioned, as well as the Tuscaloosa Public Library social media pages and YouTube channel. So there's lots of great places to access the content. All of those places have the same content. So there's, hopefully it will be kind of easy to find and interact with. But also make sure to continue to go back to this BamaBugFest.org. That's kind of the hub where all the buzzworthy, absolutely meant to say that, all the buzzworthy content will be found, and information about the event will be kind of kept up to date. All right. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that supply list. Thank you for commenting. All right, John, do you have anything else?
Great. I just realized, Allie, that there's a yeah. Hey, Allie, just one other thing. Can you hear me, Allie? Actually,
I can.
I was going to say, if you want to plug something about some of the other content coming up, we've got some stand-up comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do. So we have a stand-up comedy night that's coming up. It'll be family-friendly, bug-themed comedy, we're excited about that too. We've got a couple more of those comic book expert, scientist, and a cosplayer or a character walk into a live stream ones. We'll be doing one with Helgramite and one with Black Widow. We have lesson on composting that's going to be coming up. We've got a lesson on, or a video on beekeepers. If you've ever been interested in beekeepers, we've got one of those coming up. There is just a lot. We tried really hard to cover as many bases as possible. And I think we did pretty well. I know there's a lot of content, and I know John was saying before that we didn't get a chance to fit everything in that we wanted to, which is true. But we were able to fit in a few of them. So hopefully it'll be, enough to, hopefully it'll have something that piques your interest. Oh, and one more thing, and I don't know if we've mentioned, but every one of our 9 days that we have scheduled for content is themed. So today is, what makes a bug. On Thursday, it's Into the Spider-Verse. So it's all spider related stuff. And on Saturday, it's Taking a Hike and Under a Log. So it's what you find when you're outside hiking or when you flip a log. So be sure to check out that Bama Bug Fest we've got the week's schedule kind of typed out for you, but then we also have a link where you can download the PDF of the complete schedule so that you can see what's upcoming. We highly recommend and encourage you to check that out and find a day of something that you're interested in. And then even some ones that maybe you weren't sure if you'd be interested in, just go ahead and jump into all of it, because we think that you might really enjoy what's happening. But yeah, I think there's just so much that it's really hard to put into words, everything that's coming out. So make sure to check out that schedule.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to cover?
Okay. Thanks, Allie. I don't know if there's anything else, Rebecca. If not, we can wrap things up.
All right. Well, I will take us out of here. Yeah, I'll take us out of here, and we'll wrap it up for this introductory live stream here for Bama Bug Fest on the web. As a reminder, like they were mentioning, content appears at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and there's a daily wrap-up at 7 p.m. where you can interact with the experts and ask questions if you have any. All of those times are Central Standard Time Zone, so just keep that in mind. And as a reminder, if you're not able to join us for the live presentations like we're doing right now, you can always go back and watch anything that we're doing on YouTube at the UA Museum's YouTube channel or the Tuscaloosa Public Library YouTube channel, or you can check out all of our Facebook pages, the Alabama Museum of Natural History, the Mildred Westervelt Warner Transportation Museum, the Tuscaloosa Public Library. I think those are all the Facebook pages. So if you are wanting to go back and watch something, or if you missed something, you can go back and check them out there. All of the ways to watch are going to be on bamabugfest.org. So if you need any of those links, they're going to be there. We also do have that handy resource guide on the bamabugfest.org website as well as a full schedule of events like Allie mentioned. So you can definitely go check out bamabugfest.org for all of your questions. I'll put it up there in case you need it. So if you do have any questions, or if you want to learn more about what we're doing, you can go there. So as always, we want to thank the collaborating partners for making this event happen. And thank you to Allie and for Dr. Friel for helping guide us through the introduction here today. So thank you for your time and for sharing your work with Bama Bug Fest with us. So, all right. Well, everybody, see you next time for Bama Bug Fest on the web.